What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
All right, special holiday mini opening. We told you guys we had some mail coming from hashtag not a sponsor, eBay. That was the Colin Squires autographed ball. And we stumbled upon a 2021 replacement mystery pack from the Topps first edition stuff with the entire screw up with Topps and them not sending anything to the PLL shop. So this is a numbered card for sure, as long as this is a PLL. How funny would it be if this wasn't even a PLL card, Deej?
That would be insanely funny. Imagine just pulling it some random, like some Allen and Ginter baseball card or something.
That would be hilarious. I mean, I'll put it out there for the people. We spent $30 on this. And I'll give my top three of what I want to pull from this, and then I'll let you give your top three. Obviously, we're looking for that one-of-one Colin Squires. That is an obvious one. A Paul Rabel would be sweet. And then I'd say Blaze would be my next. Because it's the 2021 first edition. Obviously, it's when Chaos won the championship. So those are my three. Deej, your top three here. Outside of Squires, obviously, because that's just a mission of the show.
Lyle, of course.
Lyle would be sweet. Jeff Teat.
Right. Maybe. Maybe Brad Smith.
That's an interesting one.
But like an auto Brad Smith.
Would Brad Smith be in this set? I don't know if he was in this set because it was all like the award winners and then rookies.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Who else was a rookie with Teat?
Maybe Tom Schreiber.
Schreiber would be cool. Number one player. PL top 50. So here we go. We're going to crack this bad boy open. It's going to lose a gazillion dollars of value because it's going to have the seal broken, but this came from Michigan.
Which I could have just picked up, which is wild.
It's literally like 2 hours away from you.
Yep.
It is completely sealed, like with tape and everything, too. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. But here we go. If we pull the Squires one-of-one, it's a wrap.
Oh, yeah.
That reaction will literally just be this episode of the podcast. That's it. That is like our white whale. I don't want to like mess up the card too by not having both sides of the tape pulled off here. When I got this in too, I sent you the picture and we were both like, we forgot how like wide these packs were in comparison to everything else. All right, there we go. Topps 2021 first edition replacement card. I'm not even going to look. Eyes are closed. I'm not even going to show the people what the back of the card is. I don't see anything. Here we go.
Oh, shit.
We got to 50. 25 out of 50, Josh Byrne, second team All-Pro.
Can't go wrong with Josh Byrne.
Shabby. That is the boy. I'm not mad. 22 out of 50. I think that was our... Did you pull any to 50 from your... I don't think I pulled any to 50 in mine.
Maybe one. I feel like my Miles was out of 50,
So there it is.
but I don't remember.
The illustrious mystery pack. Josh Byrne, 22 out of 50. Or 25 out of 50, I'm sorry. It's right down the middle, too. That is not bad. I'm not mad about that.
No, I like that.
And I think that's worth more than $30.
Definitely worth it. Josh Byrne is. Did you see that they started a podcast? Him and Dane.
Yeah.
First episode is up on. No, they don't. Never mind. We won't do free ads around here.
Yeah, unless they have us on.
Yeah, I mean, if they want to throw us on and do a little collab show or something,
I know it is through the Buffalo Bandits franchise that they're doing it, so good for them. That'll be entertaining, though.
Oh, most definitely.
So there it is, Josh Byrne, 22 out of 50. Deej has more cards coming from this year's set. I have a shit ton just waiting to be opened. And allegedly more coming that I don't know if it's the ones that have been delivered already or not, but we have more. And there will be more openings. But I figured we'd do this one for the old Chrysler time. No free ads.
Good old time's sake.
For the holidays. So, sleeved up, bang, bang, Josh Byrne gang. I mean, if you're going to pull a veteran, I think Josh Byrne is
the one to go with.
One of the ones you want to get. Especially from a year when he won a championship. And
yep,
there it is. So without any further ado, we're going to get into the pod. There we go. What is going on, OTB Nation? Welcome into episode number 253 of the number 9 ranked NCAA podcast, the allegedly award-nominated Everything podcast, the number 9 Shrek ranked podcast. Shrek, where are the rankings? Where are the rankings? We need updates on the rankings. Need it. And, of course, viewable on YouTube, Outside the Box podcast, the official Lacrosse podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. It's KB coming at you from Underground Studios, and joining me this week, we have a guest. Just kidding. It's Deej coming from location like number 8 that he's recorded this podcast from since he's hopped on full time. What's poppin', brother?
Bro, I'm just mad I gotta go to work in this storm tomorrow. It's only for like an hour, so I'm going to get there, do what I got to do, and leave.
They couldn't have let you do it remote.
Bro. I guess the radio is the most essential job you can ever have, so I kind of screwed myself over.
Got to play the hits.
Hey. And it was more about like the emergency signals. All that BS, so.
That is essential.
Just trying not to die out here.
Fair. Valid. We got a lot to get into, and as I'm sitting here, I think there's a lot we haven't touched on, so I think we'll start the show with that. But make sure you guys are following us on the socials at OTBLaxPod, Twitter, Instagram. Follow Deej on Twitter at SCS_NextGreat. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. It truly does go a long way for more people finding the show and, getting more ears and eyes on OTB Nation. Let's keep this thing trucking along. We're currently at 117 overall reviews. Let's keep that thing going. Leave those 5-star reviews. And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. That's where you get full video episodes of OTB every single week. That's where you get OTB casts when Deej and I are doing our live streams this year for the NLL. And we'll probably do some for the PLL for the games we're not at. You get original content as well on the YouTube channel. We're at 331 subscribers as of this recording. Trying to get to 350 in the next 9 days. Help us out, OTB Nation. I know there's a lot of you out there. Be a friend, tell a friend. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Smash that like button. Ring the bell icon. Comment down below your thoughts on everything Deej and I touch on this episode. And this holiday season. Share the YouTube with your people. And, of course, go get your merch. PHI Apparel Company, the official merch provider of Underground Sports Philadelphia and the Outside the Box podcast. Guys, there's no doubt that when you're going to your favorite NLL team, home stadium, road stadium, when you're going out on the road for the PLL, or, you're just kicking it, practicing, outside, taking shots, whatever it may be, you're going to stand out rocking that official Outside the Box podcast merch. You guys can go to phiapparel.co and use code Underground for 10% off your order. That's code Underground for 10% off at phiapparel.co. Deej, I think there's some things, I forget if we've talked about them or not, but a few things have popped up over the last few weeks. Number one, Coach Quirk has stepped down as head coach and GM of the Cannons Lacrosse Club. I don't know if we talked about this or not because it happened the day after we recorded, I think. But Coach Quirk steps down, just had heart surgery that he mentioned in his stepping down post. And then obviously his kids getting set for more high school and college lacrosse. So more time with his family, but a bummer that, part of the OTB coaching staff is no longer with the Cannons. It is an interesting move, though, that he traded for Matt Cavanaugh a week before he stepped down, or pretty close to it. But what were your thoughts when you saw Coach Quirk step down?
It kind of fell in line with what has been happening this offseason. Everything with the PLL has been kind of like, what the fuck? Like, literally, that's like something happens and I just go, what the fuck? Like, there's been no leaks of anything, nothing, no rumors, no, nothing being expected of any of this happening. Like, it just drops and everybody's jaw is on the ground. It's just like, well, what's going to happen now?
Yeah.
Luckily they aren't in the championship series, so they don't have to worry about that. Like Atlas does. But, they're in the opposite side of that situation. Like, they're supposed to be starting a rebuild. So, like, maybe it's a good thing.
Got to get ready for a draft, too, that you don't have many draft picks in. So that's another tough thing for the next coach and GM to step into. And Cav, that situation's going to be interesting. Like, obviously, you trade for him if you're Coach Quirk because you intended on signing him, which they did. And now, does he fit the new coach's, way of how he wants to construct this team? It's going to be interesting. But we send the best to Coach Quirk. We're trying to get him back on the show soon as well, even though he's no longer the head coach and GM at Cannons. He's still a friend of the program. So shout out to Coach Quirk. We appreciate the hell out of him. We did his first interview when he got hired to be the head coach of Cannons. He's been on the show multiple times, and he's always a delight to talk to. And I'm going to miss him in post-game press conferences. I'm going to miss his energy on the sidelines, but sending him and his family all the best. And then injury news across the board. We've had 2 face-off guys go down. We found out who the second one was, who I was being talked about. But obviously the boy, Joe Nardella, tore his ACL. He's going to be out for the remainder of the NLL season and all of the 2023 PLL season. He's going to miss the championship series. Wasn't on the roster, obviously. But even if he was going to miss that. Going to miss the entire PLL season. It's just a huge bummer to not have one of the best players on the planet out there. Nards is a huge catalyst for what that Whipsnakes team does. And it just sucks that, he's going to be out and missing an entire year.
Yeah, obviously, safe recovery, fast recovery, most importantly out to Joe. But it's just like, I'm interested to see how this affects that team. Like, no one's really thought about it. Like, they haven't played a game in so long without Joe Nardella. Like, he's,
if at all.
That's also what I was gonna say. I don't know if they have, but it's also just like he's such a big part of like how they construct their offense. Like, most teams don't realize like how big of a role he plays offensively for them, and like them getting into a groove and not having to worry late game because they know they're gonna have possession. Like, this doesn't just affect their face-off unit; it affects literally the entire team. Possibly to, all the way down to the goalie with how many shots they're seeing because they're playing so much defense and in the opposite side. So it's like, this is a lot bigger injury than I think a lot of people are understanding at the moment.
Yeah. And Justin Inacio also out for the PLL season with an injury as well. Just when you felt like he was starting to get into a groove towards the end of the year for the Archers, had that big game late for them and, really buckled down at the stripe. That's a bummer, especially for, him being as young as he is and, trying to get into that groove of the PLL face-off, technique and just, cadence and everything. The big thing is going to be when PLL free agency opens. Connor Farrell's a free agent. That's going to be, if he stays a free agent, there's going to be 3 teams vying for Connor Farrell. It's going to be Chrome to retain him. And it wouldn't shock me if, Bates and Staggs are like, yeah, let's go sign Connor Farrell to a 1-year deal. That way our bases are completely covered on 2 teams that have championship aspirations in the Archers and Whipsnakes. You don't really lose that much of a step, and you kind of gain a little bit if you're Archers if you get Connor Farrell at the stripe. That's going to be an interesting wrinkle to this PLL free agency.
Dog. This shit is fucking hilarious. But also, like, I don't know, like J.I., he was just starting to get a groove. So, like, that's what's sad about that for the Archers is he was finally finding his footing and getting used to the cadence and fitting into that team. So to lose him for an entire summer is a huge bummer. But it's like he wasn't that great last year. So, like, it kind of is an opportunity to possibly find something new. So, I mean, for just the way that their team is constructed, I feel like they should be trying to find a new face-off guy anyway, like somebody who is more along the lines of a Joe Nardella or a Trevor Baptiste who's going to get your offense the ball consistently. Maybe even Connor Farrell.
Zach Tucci.
I mean, yeah, Zach Tucci's out there. Mike Sisselberger is going to be fantastic. Like, once he gets into the league, like, there's going to be options this year. So I wouldn't be surprised to see, like, the Archers, like, really take some serious shots, all pun intended, with the bows there. Yeah. And at pulling in a serious, face-off guy. Because then even when J.I. comes back, it's more of a competition, and you have a change of pace there at face-off. I think more of who was running like a legit 2 face-off system for a while was the Cannons.
I wouldn't say legit, but they were running a 2 face-off guy system there, and then it was the Archers originally. It was Bones Kelly and Brendan Fowler.
Mm-hmm. Even if they go back to something like that, or like what you see in international play, like there's no way Trevor Baptiste is going to go out and take 100% of the face-offs with TD as his backup. Like they're going to split that. So like the Archers could run into a position like that where they have 2 very solid guys. And they don't necessarily want to give one guy the ups, so they just run both. And we finally see that expansion on game day rosters that we've been looking for, so they can dress 2 face-off guys.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm excited for all of that to kind of shake out and start. And obviously, PLL free agency doesn't start for another 3 months. But that's a fascinating wrinkle to it. And wishing all the best to J.I. and to Nards for a healthy recovery. And then last bit of news too, unfortunate news. Want to send our love and all the best to Kark's family. Paul Carcaterra's dad passed away. So want to send all the love to the Carcaterra family. Losing a loved one sucks, and especially this time of year sucks. So sending our love to Kark and his entire family, and there's no replacing the person you lost. So just remember the good times, the fun times, and Kark's the best. So we love you, and sending you and your family the best.
Absolutely. Taking some lacrosse. It's the medicine game. Get out.
Absolutely.
Go to a game. get up in a suite and chow down on all the food that's free, get 1,000 drinks, and just scream at the ref for being bad. Like I don't know, just go in and take in some lacrosse. That's the best part about it. Is it truly is a healing game.
And spend some time with those loved ones. But all the best to Kark. But Deej, week 3 of the NLL in the books. Time to recap week 3, the week that was. No games this week. We're on holiday break. And the more and more that I look at it, the more and more, from producing top ends, I'm like, wow, lacrosse and soccer are so similar. Both on holiday breaks, obviously coming off the World Cup, but we got the holiday break for the NLL, so no pick segment this week. But we're going to recap week 3 quickly. Calgary topped Vancouver 14-5. Panther City, big dub over Vegas in Vegas, where your boy, Devontae Adams, took in the game. Panther City wins 9-3. Buffalo tops Toronto 11-8. Rochester with a huge win, 14-13 over Albany. The Philadelphia Wings go toe-to-toe with the Georgia Swarm once again. Another one-goal game, 13-12, the Wings on top. The Halifax Thunderbirds set a franchise record for goals scored and win 20-11 over the Riptide. And the Colorado Mammoth get their first win of the year, 12-9 over Panther City. Vegas, all I have to say to you guys is I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. I was one Vegas win away from a perfect week, which would have been sensational to start the season with a perfect week, but a fantastic weekend this past weekend that we had in the NLL across the board. High energy games, that big cluster on Saturday, the Buffalo, Toronto, Rochester, Albany, Philly, and Georgia games were unreal. Halifax, New York was absurd. Just a crazy amount of scoring. What stood out to you in week 3, Deech?
Really that Albany Rochester game. I was really concerned with how that Albany defense was going to come out and affect this newfound Rochester offense. Rochester made me look stupid for a while. Really, they made me look really good because for a while, I think Albany maintained a 4 or 5 goal lead for a while, and they looked really good and looked like they were going to pull away. And then all of a sudden, here comes Curtis Knight and Connor Fields and the rest of those
Ryan
guys.
Smith.
And I'm like, okay, this is what I thought was going to happen. And just to see that energy at the end of the game, I went, are the Rochester Knighthawks the best team in the NLL?
So far, it's hard to argue.
Like literally, that's
through 3 weeks. It's very difficult to argue.
Like it's almost extremely impossible to say they're not the best team in the NLL right now.
My first instinct, obviously, from the Pat McAfee show, Evan Fox, big Detroit Lions fan. Our guy Pat Pitts, big Detroit Lions guy. They've been doing this whole brand new Lions thing. The first thing that popped in my head with the brand new Knighthawks. It's brand new Knighthawks. They look like a completely different team, dude. And I don't know if it's just the injection of Fieldsy into this lineup, but they just have this like rejuvenation about them. Like they don't look like last year. I would say like not that they looked defeated, but it was just like they kind of knew what the deal was. Like they kind of knew what the outcome was going to be. This year, it's like they have this new confidence and swagger and arrogance about them. Shout out AT, where like they're not gonna just fold when the tough times get going. Like they get rocking and rolling, they take punches, and they're not going down without a fight. And I think that's huge. I tweeted this too. Like Rochester being good is good for the league. Like that, they're one of those teams that, even though it's Rochester 2.0 and everything, like they're a staple, market in the NLL that even though they're a small market city in the lacrosse space, it's a huge deal for Rochester to be good. Like you don't want Rochester to be bad. This is like, it's similar to like if trying to think of a, comparison, but it's kind of like the Mets almost. Like the Mets are like MLB when it comes to baseball, like, people want the Mets to be good because then it's like you have the New York thing where the Buffalo Bandits, and it's funny because they're owned by the same ownership group. Like, the Bandits are the Yankees. And then you have the Rochester Knighthawks, who are now kind of like the Mets. When both teams are good, it's good for the league.
It's the reason the Seahawks are always pretty decent.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're like the only relevant team in Seattle. So like somebody has to be good up there.
Right.
So the Seahawks just get to be it.
Yeah. So like Rochester being good is like, it just fuels more fire to the league and just the parity and everything. So like, I'm pumped for them. Obviously, Fieldsy's our guy. Like, we love Connor. And just seeing those dudes ball out, like, is super fun. So, shout out to the Knighthawks. Told you, Deej, the Philadelphia Wings, 1-goal games against the Georgia Swarm. 6 straight contests dating back to January of 2020 between the Wings and Swarm have been 1-goal decisions. The Wings have now won 5 straight against Georgia. 13-12 the final. Philly was getting dominated for the early parts of this game. I was pulling my hair. I was watching it with the OG and CFO Margie, and we were like, what the fuck, guys? Like, get it together. You're too good to not be getting it together. And then you see Ben McIntosh start to cook. And you see Joey Rez, the Riz God, which I found out this week, Deech. Do you know what Riz is short for?
Ritz Carlton? I don't fucking know.
Like, you know how all the kids are saying, oh, you got Riz, you're a Riz God. It's short for charisma.
Excuse me, Riz is short for charisma?
Uh-huh. I just blew your mind.
Nah, bro, you just broke it. That don't make no sense, bro. Like, you know how they said if it don't make sense, it don't make dollars? Like, that right there is the definition of that. Because what?
Charisma.
I can't say charisma any other way now. It's got to be charisma.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Wow, bro. You learn something new every day, for
right?
real.
Blows your mind.
Them Buena kids getting you together.
I didn't even learn from them. I blew their minds today with that too.
Oh,
they were looking around like,
no way,
bruh. But the Wings, big time win. Blaze continues to be on a rampage to start this year. Matt Rambo looked great. The offense started to kind of click. Trevor was phenomenal at the stripe again. Defense was much more improved as the game went on. Higgy was standing on his head, looking like a fucking beast in net. And the Wings just win against Georgia. No offense to Georgia's broadcast team either, but my God, are they rough to listen to.
Yeah,
my God. I miss Scott Ratliff in the booth. Scott Ratliff made Georgia broadcast very tolerable.
Oh, extremely tolerable.
But
almost muted him.
It was tough. But shout out to the Wingies getting the job done. Buffalo beats Toronto. That was a big one for your boy. Very competitive game. Toronto's offense just didn't
wasn't
get
surprised
going.
By it. Yeah, like that was the thing. Like
they were
I wasn't
stagnant.
surprised by the defenses, the way they played, the goalies. Like everything seemed very on par outside of Toronto's offense being extremely slow, extremely it seemed like when you watch basketball ISO, like the ISO game where everybody just goes one-on-one in basketball all the time, like that's what it looked like. And it just didn't seem like Toronto was playing their offensive set really.
Yeah, very weird game there, but they're off to the same start they were off to last year. They're 1-2, and they recovered, so you can never count Toronto out. Panther City, even though they went 1-1 this weekend, very impressive weekend from them. Still think they're a very good team. They're going to be in the mix, I think, until the very end. Dominant defensive performance against Vegas. And I think that helps, when you see a team back-to-back weekends, you kind of know tendencies, you kind of understand how they're going to play you, and I think that benefited Panther City, and we should have known that when we made our picks. but we were buying in on the Vegas Kool-Aid. Devontae Adams, big lacrosse guy. I know you look like the star eye emoji when you saw that.
Oh yeah. I literally lost it. I thought, I don't know. I thought
You're my boy, Blue.
I was like, I got to be dreaming, living in La La Land right now. I was like, ain't no way Tay's at the game. They had him a
very
jersey.
cool.
They had him a jersey and everything.
That was very cool.
I told you, I was like, he's certified best wide receiver in the NFL right now. like I already thought it, but that certified it for sure.
His Riz off the charts.
Leave.
Oh man. Only thing I have to say about Vancouver is I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Sorry, not sorry.
I think it's beat curse.
That team is just a mess.
Because I ain't gonna say his name.
That team is just a mess. Like,
the offense doesn't look good at all.
They don't have a defense. The goalie situation, we love Steve Fryer, but man.
Yeah, he's not.
It's just no consistency with that team. They are just in a state of limbo.
I almost want to blame the defense more for Steve Fryer's faults than anything.
3 weeks to the season, I'm gonna drop a hot take here.
Are they on the no pick list?
Well, but it would not shock me if one of, if not both, Mitch Jones and Logan Schuss are traded at the deadline.
Oh, damn. That's
If they're gonna continue to play the way that they're playing right now, like, free my mans.
That's a bold.
Free my men's.
That is a bold assumption.
You gotta figure out, like, at some point too, for this Vancouver team, like, you can't just litter your roster with guys who are just from Vancouver. You gotta have some diversity, guys. I understand it's more helpful and everything in a league where you practice once a week, but, like, my God, get some guys from across the globe and everywhere, not just BC guys. Deej,
it works for them. Don't fix what ain't broke.
A lot of things are broke there. I'll give you the floor here. What went wrong with your New York Riptide?
It was the woes that we saw in week 1 when they played San Diego. Same problems, and the defense just couldn't communicate, couldn't stay in front, giving up a lot of open shots, a lot of rebounds on the backside, and they just couldn't recover offensively. Like, the offense snapped into it against San Diego, and they just start giving it to them. But in this game, the offense could never get enough going. They got 1, 2, 3 here and there, but there was never a 4, 5, 6 goal run like they had against San Diego that was keeping them legitimately in the game. So it's just like the defense is going to have to step it up and really make some plays, because the offense has the talent and can make things happen. But if they're not getting the ball enough and they're constantly playing from behind, it's going to be a very, very rough season.
Callum didn't play in this game for the Riptide. Yeah. Connor Kiernan had a great game, 4 points in this one. The big thing that stands out to me is Jake Withers fucking worked Jay Thornburg at the stripe. Worked him. Withers had 22 loose balls in this game. Like, that's just crazy. Not crazy in a sense of just, like, Jake Withers is just unreal. Even though it's, like, kind of like the norm for him. Impressive game too from Drew Hutchison. Got the start. It was a late announcement. Warren Hill did not play in this game. Only allowed 11 goals, 29 saves. Very impressive win there for Hutchison. Mike, did we underestimate Ryan Benesh going back to Halifax?
I think so.
Jesus Christ, man. He's
Their
on
offense.
a tear.
Him with Stotty back, they look fantastic.
The big three of him, Randy, and Cody Jamieson
is nuts.
Is a cheat code.
It's crazy. You would think because they're kind of on the older side of Tad that things would be a little different, but they are like cooking.
And then
Which
Clark
is wild.
Peterson in the mix too, putting
Yep.
6 points on the board in this game. Terry had himself a game with 3 points. He scored 2 goals. Austin Shanks activated for this game, 4 assists. Bushi with 4 goals. Just an all-around unreal performance by the Halifax Thunderbirds in this one, and they're continuing to make us look stupid for kind of doubting, just the team chemistry overall, but these boys are buzzing together, and that's a good sign, for them and just for where they're going to end up in the standings moving forward. But these are the standings right now in terms of the NLL going into the holiday break. In the East, your standings look like this. You've got Halifax. Somehow, I guess it's based off of goal differential here, even though Halifax has 1 less game played. They're 2-0 in first place. Rochester at 3-0 in second place. Albany, Buffalo, Philadelphia, all at 1-1. Toronto at 1-2. Georgia at 0-2, and the Riptide at 0-2. And then out west, Calgary and San Diego, both 2-0. Panther City at 2-1. Saskatchewan and Colorado, both at 1-1. Vegas at 0-2. And Vancouver's at 0-3. Not great for Vancouver. And then coming out of the holiday break, we only have 3 games next week for everybody. We have 2 on New Year's Eve, so December 30th. Great games going into the final week of 2022. December 30th, Halifax at Buffalo, San Diego at Calgary, and then New Year's Eve, Panther City at Saskatchewan.
I like that. I love it.
Lovely games.
Nice little introduction into the new year.
Yes, lovely games going into out of the holiday break, and some fun ones on tap for us. And we're working on a fun episode for next week too. But I love how we're not the only ones confused by the Alterna Cup being MIA as well. I put that out there on Twitter. A lot of people retweeted and liked that tweet. Still don't have an answer, so if we do get an answer, we'll let you know. But Deej, the NLL Week 3 OTB Awards, these are our weekly awards that we dish out to the best performers of the week. It's brought to you by our friends at Trophy Smack. Guys, there's no better way to upgrade your fantasy smack talk than with our pals over at Trophy Smack. They've got trophies, rings, belts, metal wall art, loser trophies, which is hilarious for your fantasy leagues. You guys can go to trophysmack.com/underground and start upgrading your fantasy smack talk today. That's trophysmack.com/underground. trophysmack.com/underground. Upgrade yo fantasy smack talk. Deej, your offensive player of the week. I think there's a lot of options that we can go with here. I'm looking across the board at who could be in the mix. Connor Fields just continues to pop up each and every week. But for the performance he had, I think we got to go Ryan Benesh.
I like that a lot. I don't see how we don't have an offensive player of the week this week from a team who set a franchise record 20 goals in a game.
Yeah.
Their offense was literally on fire. It couldn't be stopped.
And he led the team in scoring with 9 points.
Which is ludicrous to even think about. 9 is insane.
Man, wild. Defensive player of the week. I think it's got to. Is it tough to just not say the entire Panther City Lacrosse Club defense? In a week where they played twice, they allowed a total of 15 goals. And even though they lost, this is pretty impressive. They allowed 15 goals in 2 games. Their offense scored 18, so they had a +3 ratio for goals scored versus goals against. I'm not opposed to just giving it to the entire Panther City defense.
If we have to give it to one, I say Burnsy. And Liam Burns has been so good this year that he's not being talked about. Even the broadcasters aren't having to say his name enough because guys aren't really attacking him. He's not in a lot of a mix. He's just being a shutdown defender. He's just doing everything that he did for the Water Dogs inside for a different team that wears purple. So Liam Burns being Liam Burns is awesome.
9 loose balls, 2 caused turnovers in 2 games this week. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, I don't hate giving it to Burnsy as the singular.
If we have to.
Yeah.
Don't.
Give it to Liam Burns, but also just shout out to the entire Panther City defense. Yeah. Fantastic weekend for you guys.
And I mean, really, if you look at the magnitude also of those games, like you got an expansion team playing in front of their home crowd for the first time. That was a stellar crowd. I mean, they were loud. There was a lot of them there. And you got 102,000 viewing at average, which was fantastic. And then you turn around the very next day and you play the defending champs who got mollywopped their first game of the year and are looking to, make a statement and get back on track. You hold those two teams to 15. I mean, it's hard to say you weren't the best defense of the week.
Rookie of the week. I'm pretty sure this guy's a rookie. I saw his name all over social media this past weekend. He was very impressive from Panther City. Nathan Grennan, I think, is a name we got to keep an eye on. He was very impressive for Panther City this week. He gets my vote.
I would not hate that whatsoever. I'm just wondering if he's...
The NLL still updating their stats stuff, so I'm not 100% sure if he's a rookie, but I think he is.
Right. I think so as well.
Yeah, he's a rookie. Yep. And then I think goalie of the week has to go to Hutchison.
Yeah, to come off the bench and pretty much play exactly like his predecessor, and a lot of people didn't even notice until halfway through the game that it wasn't Warren Hill who was in net and was balling out like that. So, and also getting a 22-11 dub against Teeter, Larson Sundown, Connor Kieran, even without Callum Crawford. Like, it doesn't
Riley
matter.
O'Connor.
Yeah, like those 4 guys alone are enough to hang quite a few on a guy. So to hold those guys to 11 plus the help they have is pretty fantastic.
Purple Swag Week on the OTB Awards, brought to you by Trophy Smack. Ryan Benesh, your Offensive Player of the Week. Liam Burns, your Defensive Player of the Week. Your Rookie of the Week, Nathan Grennan. And Drew Hutchison, your Goalie of the Week. Which brings us to Deej's State of the Fandom, your search for a favorite NLL team. It's brought to you by the homies at Tomahawk Shades, the best small batch eyewear in the game. Deej, how have the sunglasses been treating you? Even though there's not too much sun, I'm sure you're still rocking those bad boys.
Oh, they've been fantastic. I'm keeping the ice out of my eyes, the sunshine bouncing off the ice out of my eyes. But I've been using blue lights like crazy between work and home with, bringing this laptop to do pod and stuff at home and then being at work. And I got it literally, now that I'm in a studio for my office, I have two touchscreen, flat screen monitors in front of me, and then I had 2 regular monitors up top in front of me. So I got 4 monitors plus my laptop to the side and my phone all just popping at me all day. So the blue lights have been fantastic. If you are around screens all day, which FYI, we're all around screens.
We all are.
Day, get yourself a pair of those blue light glasses.
Get the blue light plus glasses. Get the sunglasses, because Deej and I both subscribe to the thought process, the theory. Sunglasses are just as important in the wintertime as they are in the summer.
Oh, yeah. Maybe even more.
Might even be even more. And also, if you're experiencing, some snowy conditions, you can get the Tomahawk ski and snow goggles now at tomahawkshades.com. They're partnering up with big-time athletes, big-time celebrities, and they're just joining the Tomahawk team along with OTB and Underground Sports. You guys can go to tomahawkshades.com. Use code USP for 25% off your entire order at tomahawkshades.com. That's code USP at tomahawkshades.com for 25% off your order at tomahawkshades.com. Deej, your state of the fandom. How's it looking? Big week. A lot of teams played. Has anything changed?
I really like Panther City moving into the 5 slot, bumping out the Riptide. They had a very tough week.
Wow, Riptide out.
Yeah, they're not out far, but they can hover. But
First time in a long time they've been out.
20-11 at home after losing already to start the year. Yeah, Halifax has been good this year, but 20-11 guys,
Tough.
That's tough. And then Vancouver might be the first team to get scratched this year. They just haven't looked good at all. Vegas isn't ranked, but I'm giving them a lot of leeway being an expansion team. It's really just the jerseys that are kind of killing me, but for some reason they look half all right on TV. So maybe they'll look really good in person.
Plus they had Devontae.
And yeah, and Tay was there. So that kind of gave him a few kudo points for sure. But I really like Rochester moving up into the 2nd slot, bumping Toronto down after they had a tough week as well. Rochester looks good. And I mean, when I got into lacrosse, Connor Fields was at Albany, and they were a top 5 team in the country. So he's kind of a guy I saw a lot of when I first got into the sport. So it's nice to see him kind of getting back into that groove. So I wouldn't be opposed to donning a Rochester jersey here and there.
So is everybody still on the table going into the holidays?
Yes, but Georgia and Vancouver are on the hot seat.
They're like Thanos getting ready to push them off the cliff to get an Infinity Stone.
1,000%. Because Vancouver just hasn't shown me anything this year, and with Georgia, they're good, but it's their mascot.
It's got your boy, but that mascot, man.
That mascot
broadcast team,
and then losing now. What is it? 6 in a row?
5 in a row. 5 of 6.
That's not okay. You don't do that. You don't lose 5 of 6 to the same team.
All by 1 goal.
For a lack of a better phrase, grow a pair and win a game. I don't know what else they want me to say about that.
Oh, that's funny. So there it is. Everybody's safe going into the holiday weekend, going into the holiday break. But that is Deej's State of the Fandom, brought to you by Tomahawk Shades. Switch gears, Deej, from the box game to the field game. Team USA's world roster got announced. Shall we go through this entire roster as a lot of discourse on the interwebs about the roster and guys being left off, guys who were kept on, and I don't know. At first look for me, I was like, holy shit, this team is awesome. And then you sit back and you look and it's like, wow, a lot of guys were left off. But as a whole, I don't see how anybody can be unless you're a player, obviously, and you want to be on that roster for sure. I don't see how a fan, though, can be mad about this roster, because here we go. Team USA. The 23-man U.S. men's national team roster competing to defend their gold at Worlds in San Diego this summer. Looks like this. Trevor Baptiste, Jesse Bernhardt, Charlie Bertrand, Liam Burns, Ryan Conrad, Matt Dunn, Michael Earhart, JT Giles Harris, Zach Goodrich, TD, Connor Kelly, Jack Kelly, Danny Logan, the boy, Kieran McCardle, the only college player on the roster, Brennan O'Neill, RP Tree, Matt Rambo, Jake Richard, Blaze Reardon, Jack Rowlett, Tom Schreiber, Michael Sowers, and Ryan Tarafenko. What a fucking loaded roster.
And the crazy part is the amount of names that got left off.
Just to name a few.
That would keep this team equally as loaded as it is, if not make it better.
Grant Ament, Marcus Holman, Will Manny, Tyler Warner. I mean, he's injured, so that probably played a part. Nard's not on the roster.
No Miles Jones.
No Miles Jones.
But I think that's due to being
dad duties.
Yep.
Surge. No Surge.
Yeah, I don't even know if he tried out.
Yeah, I don't know if he did or not. I like this roster a lot. Like, there's a lot to be happy about with this roster, especially with the chemistry and cohesiveness of the units. To have Jesse and JT from that Chrome defense back there, along with Zach Goodrich, obviously Earhart, one of the best to ever do it, if not the best. Matt Dunn, Liam Burns, like, the defense alone, you were probably salivating when I sent you this roster.
Oh yeah, when I saw it, I was like, the defense is the perfect mix of power and technique, but also communicative. Like, they all talk, like almost overly communicate, and are extremely loud with each other. Everybody knows where they are at all times and are ready to help at all times, but also they're just strong and physical. They play hard. They check hard. And their technique is right. They have good footwork. They're always in the right place at the right time, and they're always ready to help. Like, all of that matters. And to get, I don't know, what do they have, 5 poles and 5 shorties or something like that, to get 8 to 10 guys that could do all of those things consistently for you is like impossible. But
I didn't even bring up the boy Jack Rowlett when I mentioned all those guys in there too. Like, Jack's one of the best out there.
Easy. He probably will be the leader / captain of this defense, and that's hard to say because you got Matt Dunn out there. You got Jesse Bernhardt. Like, all these guys are the leaders on their respective defenses at the pro level. So it's like, it's almost like building a true all-star team. It's like taking like the Dream Team USA on 2K and just like playing in a regular game. Like, it's almost not fair because, like, you look at the offense. The offense is the perfect mix of speed and finesse with skill. One side of the offense is very, very fast, and it's just going to run by you and shoot. Whereas the other side is very finesse-like and will either break you down with passing and then take advantage of their dodging opportunities, or vice versa. Like, I don't know how this team is to be stopped.
Yeah, and I mean, the fun part too is Michael Sowers was listed as an attackman and midfielder. And I'm just looking here too, like the fact that Danny Logan and Ryan Tarafenko are on the same team is disgusting. Like, that has me like giddy about this roster. Talk to the people who may be like me, because there's some people out there that only watch the pro game, but I know the name Brennan O'Neill. I know the hype around him. I know he's the next guy. But talk to the people who may not be too familiar with him, being that he is still 2 years, by the time this is happening, a year away from graduating from Duke. He's class of 2024. Gets the opportunity, though, to suit up with everyone else who has played in the PLL this past year, and I believe it's 11 guys are on NLL rosters. Talk to the people about Brennan O'Neill.
He's just like the perfect mix of Jake Carraway and Jeff Teague. Like, he has the size of Jake Carraway. He has the aggression and the character that Jake Carraway plays with, and the assertiveness, but he also is extremely smart, extremely talented, a very good shooter, very good passer, Like he takes all the best offensive traits of Jeff Teat while taking all the best physical and attitude traits of Jake Caraway and making them one player. And, he did that at the college level all year and then turned around and did it in the World Games. And now he's going to do it here with the official U.S. roster team, because I think that was U21.
U23.
Or, whatever. I think they did, U23 or 21 or whatever because of COVID and all that. But he's almost the attack version of Tom Schreiber. He's just that good, that strong. I'm surprised Patrick Hanley didn't get a nod as well. He's a senior, probably going to be the number 1 draft pick. He's he is the build of Tom Schreiber and the shot and the accuracy, but plays like Sergio Perkovic. Just downhill dodger, and I'm going to drop my shoulder and shoot. And, you can't stop me. If I decide I want to go all the way to the net, I'm going to do that as well. But he's also smart enough to understand, okay, they're going to double team here, throw the pole on me, so let me get it to, my shorty over here who's got their weakest short stick. We'll let him dodge and see if I can get open on a rotate behind for a shot. So I'm excited to see how he flourishes and how he plays with, pro level guys being really just a junior in college.
And this will be everyone's true, first look, with him around pros, which is very exciting to kind of just see how he latches on and see how he kind of, keeps his head above water with all these pros on this roster as well. I'm going to go out and say this too. I think I know who the captain's going to be if they do name a captain. I'm wondering. I'm going to give us a 3-2-1. Let's say who we think captain's going to be. 3, 2, 1. Rob
Jack Kelly. I was thinking Rob, but then I was like, I kind of think they're going to go with the whole sentimental storyline, come back. I mean, because Jack's got a lot of heart.
Yeah.
And he's been there before. He's played for Team USA. He knows what it takes. And there's nothing like having a good goalie that understands as a captain. You see it with Chaos and Blaze. He's such a key part of their team. And he's not an official captain. He's never labeled one, but everybody knows he's a captain of that team, and he acts like it. And it makes a big difference both on and off the field.
If they name captains, I think they'll go 3 captains, actually. Now that I'm surveying the roster, I think it's the 2 guys we named. I say Rob because he's one of the oldest guys on the roster.
Yep.
The other one will be Jesse Bernhardt because same grad year as Rob, and it's the defensive side of things.
And he's a coach for a national championship team, and he gets the game. But I also could see them scratching Jack and giving it to Trevor, who's just been winning recently and has been in a lot of good lacrosse positions in the past few years. You can't argue that he has that, I wouldn't say the same expertise, but he has that expertise there to rally guys and to know what to say or what to do in those crucial times.
Any surprises that when not in a bad way, when you saw the roster where you were like, ooh, wasn't expecting that, but I'm excited for that guy, those guys. I think the ones to me, not that it's Jake Richard, I was excited he's back on the roster. Charlie Bertrand getting the opportunity. I'm very excited for him. Ryan Conrad, especially after, the year that Copeland went on the Ryan Conrad appreciation tour, him getting the nod. And then
of course, the homie, Kieran.
Yeah, Kieran.
Most excited for that.
Kieran getting the nod was vindication. We made it. Kieran's getting to play at the pinnacle and deserves it. And I think JT getting the nod was very fun too. I'm excited for him to get that opportunity, for him being a young guy to get in the mix now and get that opportunity, especially after the season he had with Chrome and how well he performed in his unofficial rookie year. I'm excited for JT to get that nod. Also, another guy left off the roster, Logan Wisnauskas. A lot of people were up in arms about Logan being left off the roster.
Who was he left off for?
Right. Like, not, and that's no slight to Logan either. Like,
right,
we know how good of a fucking player he is, but
look at the attack line that's out. Who did he really get left out for? You know, like,
yeah.
Brendan O'Neill, maybe. We could take off the one college kid and throw in Logan. Logan probably said he didn't want to play, for being honest. Mans has been playing since, the national championship. Maybe he just wants to relax.
And he's playing the championship series.
Yeah, maybe he's
playing in February.
He just wants to chill out. Mans needs a break. You get burnout, people.
And then Tyler Warner's tweet was unreal.
For sure.
Isaiah Thomas last dance photo. He's probably the only one that I was like, wow, left off. Would be Ty.
I mean, that was my wow with Jake Richard. Like, it was kind of like a wow. They put Jake Richard over Ty. Like, that's interesting. That was my thing. But I wonder if it has anything to do with school and like that. If they feel like too much of a commitment for the time being and didn't want to interfere with anything like that. I have no clue, obviously, because
no idea.
I have no insider information with that kind of stuff yet.
Yeah.
Love
that Kieran's rocking number 6 as well for Team USA. That's nice. Picasso. I like it. Don't know how I feel about Blaze wearing number 9 though.
Yeah, most people don't wear their number, which I find weird. But I
find that so weird.
I mean, that's
every sport.
Yeah, I say that's across so many sports. Like, people just wear a different number, and I'm like, is there a clause that says you can't wear your own number? Like, I don't understand why
that number's name, image, and likeness belongs to your team you play for, not your international team.
Sorry, you have no rights to that.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I don't know what number Sauer's wearing 5.
That's interesting.
Very interesting.
Well, obviously, Kieran's getting away with wearing 6, so I don't know.
Sauer's out of the double 20. The double 2s is
gonna be very weird.
It's like,
who
that is?
I've only seen him in double 2s.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it's gonna be very weird.
Blaze not in 0 in field game is very weird too. It's just
we'll see.
Who's wearing 0 over?
Nobody.
Like, what the hell? But that's the Team USA Worlds roster. And we'll wrap up here with top 50 chat. We got the top 3 officially in order. Number 3, Trevor Baptiste. Number 2, Lyle Thompson. Number 1, Tom Schreiber. Shout out to whoever the fuck designed the 1 through 5 player tees. Those shits are fucking fire.
Because I got that Lyle, John.
I'm ordering the Trevor one like damn near immediately as soon as I get my next paycheck, because good God. If the PLL will allow us somehow to do merch for #OurGuys like that, little collab.
Dude,
imagine a Colin Squire shirt like that. Kieran.
A Collins shirt that says Squire 6s.
With Jeff Probst on it from Survivor.
Screaming.
Like Squires, Kieran, Jack, and I'm just trying to think of like a top 5. Blaze would be one for us for sure. Eli.
Oh yeah.
Those would be sick. And I was going to bring something up just now, too, that just popped in my head, and now I can't think of it. Shirts. PLL. Fuck. Paycheck. What was I going to say? Shit. Oh, we're working on something fun for next week's show. Obviously, last show of the year. Working on squaring that away, which will be very fun. Hopefully, we can pull that off. God, I was going to say something, and I'm going to be so pissed because once we stop recording, I'm going to remember it.
Yep.
That's what always happens.
Goes. How it always goes.
I'm trying to think of what I was thinking of. Man. That's so annoying. Oh, your Method Man stuff came in, though.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
Your shirt was there. You love that hat.
I do. I do love that hat.
These hats, if you're watching on YouTube, you should be. I got the throwback Chaos and Redwoods ones in, and I have the Water Dogs one on the way. They are just like the Method Man hat, just not as necessary to have the strap, on the very last one to feel like it's working for you. It's a normal fitting, but it's the same style of feel.
You just got a big head.
Can't argue with that.
Because my Method Man hat fits just fine. And it's not on the last button.
But this one's on a regular, on 3. 3 are off the
like I said
thing.
You gotta do something about that head, man.
Maybe you just have a small head.
I do. Actually, I do.
We balance each other out.
Facts.
Obviously the holidays are here. What is your wish for lacrosse gift this year?
Honestly, now
doesn't even have to be a wrapped thing, just as a whole.
Now that I'm not going to Vegas this week, I'm supposed to be going again in March. So for Vegas to be playing at home while I'm there. True.
Do you know what dates in March?
I do not know yet.
I was going to say, I'll pull up Vegas' schedule right now. For me, my holiday wish, I'm going to drop a 3-pack of players that I want to come on the podcast.
Ooh.
Kieran McCardle, Colin Squires, and Tom Schreiber. Which I think all 3 are attainable. Because for whatever reason,
Colin and Kieran are
Kieran's one email away.
They're all about it.
Tom, this season especially, Tom and I kind of built a little bit of a friendship in a way, and a trust, in the DMs and kind of just seeing each other. And Tom knows who I am now, which is kind of cool. So I think Tom Schreiber coming on the pod is more attainable than we thought.
I like that.
Plus, I broke the news of his contract signing.
Right. Which is pretty big deal.
Tom's my guy. He's a hashtag my guy.
Oh, okay.
Always has been, but I'm putting that official tag there now for the people so they know.
Now it's there.
He's a hashtag my guy. Yeah, I think all 3 of those are attainable.
Okay. I'm down for it.
I
have no reason not to be.
True. It benefits all of us.
Oh,
man.
I'm dead.
And hopefully everybody has a safe, happy, and fun holiday season. If you get any lacrosse gifts, tweet them at us. DM them to us on the IGs at OTB Laxpod. We want to see it all, whether it's cards you pull. Dude, what about, this wasn't what I was thinking of earlier, but that Zed Williams 1-of-1 that was on the interwebs. Good grief. What a beautiful card. What a beautiful card.
Fantastic. It was
Mint.
Chef's a kiss.
So if you get packs, if you pull anything, tweet it at us. If you get any, jersey, shirts, swag, whatever it may be. If you get OTB shirts, tweet them at us.
Big fat.
Any lacrosse merch you get, we want to see it all. We'll retweet it. We'll post it. All that good stuff. At OTB LaxPod. Follow Deej on Twitter at SCS_NextGreat. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever the heck you get your podcasts. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. That's what we want, too, this holiday season. We want 5-star reviews, and we want YouTube subscribers. YouTube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. Subscribe. We're 19 away from our year-end goal. I know there's 19 of you listening and watching right now that are not subscribed to the YouTube channel. So go subscribe. Be a friend, tell a friend. Smash that like button. Ring the bell icon. Comment down below all your thoughts about everything we talked about on this episode. And subscribe. But this has been... Also, get your merch. phiapparel.co. Use code underground, 10% off. Get your merch. It's the easiest, most effective, and direct way to support everything Deej and I are doing with OTB and all of our podcasts. Like, it supports our entire company. So, phiapparel.co, code underground, 10% off. Do it. And this has been episode number 253 of the number 9 ranked NCAA, allegedly award-nominated, honorably mentioned, viewable on YouTube, official lacrosse podcast on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network, Outside the Box podcast. For Deej, I'm KB. Everybody have a happy holiday. We'll see you guys next week, hopefully with our plan that we're working on. But until then, we're signing the heck off. Peace.
Peace.